Here is a selection of my FMS and RocHobby scale vehicles. I've not got them all, but I've got a good selection there. But we do have space for one more. And as if by magic, we have a new RocHobby. This is a 1/18 scale Cheyenne, 6x6. You can see what they're going for on the style there. But you don't want to look at a box. So let's get it out of the box, let's have a look at it, and then let's take it for a run. So a 6x6 Jeep by the looks of it. Following the channel for a while, you'll know these FMS and RocHobby vehicles come very well packed, never going to get damaged in there. What we got here? Got a little bit of trim. That looks like the rear roll cage and the front, I think it's a Rhino front bumper. It's got holes for LEDs, doesn't come with LEDs fitted, but it is ready for LEDs. Charger and wheel wrench. Transmitter with lots of functions there'll be under here. It's the same controller they use for some of the stuff that's got 2-speed gearboxes and things, so there's more controls on there than you need for this one. You get a set of instructions in about 1 million languages probably. And then this is the truck. And it looks nice. It's going to look nicer with that bumper fitted and the roll cage. In fact, let's get that fitted first before we have a proper look at it. Well, we'll scrap that idea at the moment for the rear cage. The holes for the rear cage, it goes through, you've got a gap there. So you've got like a gap and you've got to get through 2 holes. The one in the bottom, the chassis, the one in the bottom's just there, and then you've got that gap there. I've lost 2 screws in there. I don't know if you can hear them rattling around. I'm going to take the body off anyway because I want to put a driver in, but that is a really bad design. Trying to get these tiny screws in there. We will do that in a minute. Right, anyway, under here should be the battery. Let's get that out and put it on charge. 380 milliamp hour, 7.4 volt. They do one that's over 700 milliamp hours, a bit bigger than this. I think they fit in the battery trays as well. So these give you a decent amount of run time, but if you can get hold of one of the bigger ones, you'll get even more. Anyway, where were we? We were looking at the body. That Rhino front bumper looks good, doesn't it? So I think this is on the Atlas chassis. The Atlas was really good. I'm presuming it's the same chassis. This one's just obviously got that hard body snorkel for when you want to go under the water. Nice moulded scale features on this. The doors don't open, which is a shame, but the rear bed does. Feels nice and solid, that as well, actually. Very nice. Actual mirrors there as well. There is an interior in there. When I've got this body off, I'll show you that a little bit more. Underneath, we've just got a standard 6x6 setup. It's all plastic links, plastic drive shafts and axles. It is metal gears in there though. Metal chassis. These don't come with oil shocks. It's something I'd like to see on these in the future, is some oil shocks, but you know, it's light enough to not make a massive difference. And on some terrain, it actually gives you a nice scale look because it is quite loose. But I would like to see oil shocks on these at some point. A lot of wiring there going to them rear lights. Generally on the RocHobby ones, the lights only come on in reverse, so I'm guessing these might have indicators on them. I keep saying that I want these on all the time, rather than just in reverse, so we'll see what happens when we switch it on. And obviously you've got front lights there as well, and then you've got, like I've said, holes for LEDs, but no LEDs fitted to that bumper. Nice looking hood. That's where all the electronics live. You've got a little 3-wire micro servo there, and then you've got your combined ESC receiver and electronics in there. Now I do submerge mine quite often, and they've survived so far. When you do get them wet though, you may start getting some intermittent sort of going forwards, backwards, or the steering twitching, but shake them off, let them dry for a bit, and then my ones are all still working. So I've not looked to see if they're fully waterproof, but mine have survived so far. There's some specs there, have a look at. Right, I'm going to get this body off, get the cage fitted, get a driver in there. I've done a lot of videos about drivers, but recently I've noticed it way more when someone does a review without a driver in. So I try as much as I can to have a driver rather than a ghost driver.
2,000 years later.
Guys, I had to literally pull it apart to try and get to the interior. It's because the lights are fed through the back there, so you can't get it all the way off. So I've pulled the whole thing apart. At least we can see underneath now. There's your gearbox and I think it's a 050 motor, and then there's your electronics in there. Anyway, we've done all that, and look, you are not getting a scale figure in there. That is pretty disappointing. Look at the size of that seat. It does not need to be like that. They could have easily put that seat half the height, so down to sort of there, and then maybe you could have got a figure in there. Anyway, I'm going to work this out. I'm going to try and get the cage on the back. I'm going to try and have to cut one of my figures down just to get at least their head popping out there so it doesn't look too silly. We'll get it back together and then we'll go for a run. Right, we've got a driver in there and that took way longer than it should have. Way longer than it should have. That body is a pain to get off. So at the back here we've got indicators. I don't like indicators. As soon as you start turning it comes on. I don't think it looks very scale, and you haven't got running lights on the back there. They only come on when you reverse. Again, not too keen on that. I want the rear lights really to stay on all the time. That's what you want, isn't it? Anyway, we've got front lights, they stay on all the time. This thing drives really nice. Now it's got a little function on the controller that says climb, and when you press it, it gives you a lot more control on the throttle. You can go really smooth. It's obviously an electronic thing, but it makes it crawl and it makes the modulation a lot smoother. But I don't know what it does inside, but it does definitely make it drive slightly more controllable for the slower stuff. I guess it just changes some of the ones and zeros in there. If you've seen the Atlas, the little 6x6, it's really good. I've not got mine anymore, I got rid of mine ages ago, but I was really impressed with that. The 6-wheel drive definitely helps with these little ones, gives them a little bit more ability. Anyway, I need you guys to do me a favour. Obviously this is new out, so there's going to be a few videos from different channels on this RocHobby. What I want you guys to do is, if you see one of them channels and they haven't got a driver in there, let's go on a little where's your driver campaign. I'm going to be looking in the comments of the other videos of this, and if they haven't got a driver in there, if they haven't gone to the trouble of spending about 2 hours trying to get a driver in there, I want you to call them out. I want to see in the comments, where's the driver? For those of you that wonder what I do for a job, I look after the wiring and the tooling for them, amongst other aircraft. Anyway, that's enough about my day job. Let's get on to the fun one. All I want to see is a comment that says, where's your driver? Bit of fun. Let's get everyone to put drivers in their trucks in future, and let's try and get some of these manufacturers to actually supply them with driver figures. I know Axial have done it with the new SCX24, so if they can do it, these guys can. This is one of my favourite places to come, and it's not far from me. It's about 15 minutes. Lots of different terrain for these things, and you can also bring some of the bashers down here as well. Really good fun. So you can select 3 different steering angles on this. It's still, even on the Max, it's still not perfect, but it's a nice little rig. So nice, that hard body. Something else that they need to work on, RocHobby and FMS, is the bonnet or the hood. It never really, I've got a bit of blue tack under there just to keep it down, but bonnets never really shut very well. Not sure what the price is yet, because again, this hasn't been released, but I think I've seen some on AliExpress. I don't think the price is too bad actually for what you're getting. Hard body, 6-wheel drive, nice scale features. It might not be for you, but I know full well that there's people out there that love this scale stuff. You can make tracks in your garden, in your house, or you can come out here and run them. And they look awesome. This looks awesome on this terrain. I can see it in the camera, it looks so good. Usually get a good 20 minutes or so out of this battery. Like I said, if you get the double, you get one that's nearly double the size, loads of run time. They're cheap enough to get hold of as well. Get a few batteries and you can run this thing around for hours. Hours and hours. What a nice bit of kit. Anyway guys, cheers for watching. That is it for this video. I might go and see if there's some mud over there. I'll see you next time.